senior deposits coming due, an interview with a familiar club, but with a new name.
And Student Senate prepares to select new officers.
Those stories and more on your update for Thursday, August 24th.
Wait, what about the May baby?
Oh yeah, that too. Starting right now.
Good morning, Sentinels. Izzy will be back soon, so I'm here with the new FCA leaders, Derek Washington and Kenzie Thompson. Since they have their first meeting coming up next Tuesday, we wanted to ask them a few questions. So guys, I hear the name of FCA is changing. Can you tell me what the new name is and why it's changing, Kenzie?
So this year we decided that FCA should change from being a solely athletic program to becoming more of a student body Christian group. So we're changing the name to Students for Christ.
Okay, and so Derek, what exactly is your vision of the club for this year?
So we'll still meet every other Tuesday at lunch, but we also want to start getting into more reaching out to the community, doing community events a few times this year, and just being a more proactive program in the community.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks for joining me. Let's head to me and Izzy with more announcements.
That was a great interview. Now moving on to tonight, there will be the Fine Arts meeting from 6 to 7 p.m.
Make sure your parents attend as they will be talking about the musical and other important information.
Also, don't forget that today is Chapel Day and Mr. Zitlow will be speaking and he will be discussing the subject of having a God-centered purpose.
Well, that's all for now, but let's check out this quick video that we know you've all been waiting for.
What's your name?
Marley.
And do you think Mr. and Mrs. May's baby is a boy or a girl?
I think it's a boy.
What's your name?
Tallulah.
And do you think Mr. and Mrs. May's baby is a boy or a girl?
I'm going with boy.
What's your name?
7.
And do you think Mr. and Mrs. May's baby is a boy or a girl?
It's 100% a boy, no questions asked.
What's your name?
Melvin.
And do you think Mr. and Mrs. May's baby is a boy or a girl?
I'm going girl this time, Gotta go to girl.
What is your name?
Grayson.
And do you think Mr. and Mrs. May's baby is going to be a boy or a girl?
For Mr. May's sake, I'm going to say a boy. Soccer players.
What is your name?
Coach Guttery.
And do you think Mr. and Mrs. May's baby is going to be a boy or a girl?
Team boy.
What is your name?
Ari.
And do you think Mr. and Mrs. May's baby is going to be a boy or a girl?
A girl.
What is your name?
Milo.
And do you think Mr. and Mrs. May's baby is going to be a boy or a girl?
A boy.
So now that we've got your input on what the gender is,
We're here to tell you that the answer actually is...
and it is a
boy! Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. May.
So now the final score
Is 2 boys.
and 2 girls. Well, on that note, let's send it off to sports.
Thanks, guys. Well, there were no scores from yesterday, but make sure you vote for our 2 athletes up for Sports Illustrated Athlete of the Week.
To vote, go to highschool.si.com, then click on Florida.
Then you'll want to click on Football and scroll down until you see Southwest Florida Offensive Player of the Week or Defensive Player of the Week.
Make sure to vote for Tanner Helton for offense and Tyler Edwards for defense for their performances during the Lake Placid game last week.
Right now, Tyler is in first with over 50% of the vote and Tanner is in third. So it's up to you guys to make sure our Sentinels win the voting.
Voting ends on Sunday, August 27th at 11:59 p.m. and the winner will be announced in next week's poll.
Well, tonight in sports, the middle school volleyball teams will be in action against St. Francis at home.
Middle school JV at 4 and middle school varsity at 5.
After them, the JV and varsity volleyball teams will be heading to Oasis.
JV will play at 5:30 and varsity will play at 6:30.
Finally, the swim team will be having a meet at CSN in Naples at 6.
Well, that is all for now, so let's send it back to the anchors for some final announcements.
Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, Jordan.
We already had a very exciting broadcast today.
So now we're going to have to dial it back a bit.
Our last announcement is that All Things Student Senate are coming up.
And what exactly does that mean, Izzy?
Well, for starters, there will be a meeting during lunch where the Student Senate officers are elected.
Oh yeah, that's right. And I heard it'll be held in room 244 this coming Monday.
Wow, that's just a few days away. So make sure to be thinking of what you'd do for the school and why you should be elected.
No pressure.
Fellow seniors, listen up.
There was an email sent to you by Mrs. Slater regarding the senior trip.
And in case you didn't already know, the trip is to the greatest state, New York.
That's debatable. Anyways, the dates are January 21st through 25th.
And you'll need to have your deposit of $300 in by next Wednesday.
So if you still haven't talked to your parents, you should really get started. Izzy.
Well, that's all for now. See you tomorrow, Sense.